Hey people, welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at two daily trainers that punch above their price point, the Li-Ning Yueying 5 and the Anta PG7 Ultra. Both are daily trainers. One is a bit pricier than the other, but today we're going to dive in without having price as a factor. One is definitely cheaper, but let's put them head to head first before we settle whether the PG7 Ultra is actually worth it over the Yueying 5. Both have their quirks and good things that they do well, so let's break them down in my usual categories, starting with the specs and sizing. The product images state that the pacing of the PG7 Ultra is from 430 minutes per kilometer to 7 minutes per kilometer. Weight-wise, at a US men's size 9, it's listed at 253 grams. On my US 10, the Ultra weighs at 280 grams. The Yueying 5 weighs around 286 grams in the same size, so kind of similar in that area. Both shoes have an 8mm heel-to-toe drop. The PG7 Ultra also has a wider and I guess a flatter base. In the product images mentioned that it has an enhanced rocker effect. It feels more seamless when running. On the run, the Ultra feels lighter because of the turnover, especially over longer durations. Shorter runs in the Yueying 5 feel a bit more nimble, which could be down to the profile or the outsole design, I guess, and its materials. Somehow it just feels lighter on foot, even though it's actually the heavier shoe of the two. As for sizing, both fit close to the size. I say close because both do have a bit of excess length at the tip. The PG7 Ultra does feel a bit wider and roomier overall. The Yueying 5 isn't snug or tight. Also works for people with wider feet. It's closer to 2E width, not really right there with 2E, but if you need more room, the PG7 Ultra here is clearly the more accommodating shoe. With the sizing out of the way, let's move on to the comfort and fit. The PG7 Ultra cups your foot better thanks to the wider base. You don't really feel the edges of the foams or the sidewalls. It's not too much grip on your heel. It is a bit wider inside, yet it isn't quite loose when running or even when walking. This one feels more grounded and more stable to me. It does have a taller arch support, especially a taller sidewall here, but because the platform is pretty wide, I don't really feel the arch digging into my midfoot. The Yueying 5 is stable, mainly because the heel isn't overly squishy, but the PG7 Ultra feels more stable throughout the midfoot and the forefoot. The Yueying 5 here feels a bit less secure inside, but nothing major. I do notice the arch a bit more with this one because this is a bit more narrower here in the midfoot area, though it never really caused any real issues for me when I was using the shoe. So in terms of fit experience, both are fine for easy miles. Just depends if you like that more grounded feel of the PG7 Ultra or the slightly snug and nimble feel of the Yueying. For long runs, the PG7 Ultra's roomy fit is a no-brainer for me. Before moving on, I want to compare the upper materials of both. The upper of the Yueying 5 feels cheaper when compared to the PG7 Ultra. I can see why they're able to bring the price or the cost down, but it's not really bad at all. It's still better than other budget shoes. Actually, the material here does fold and it does hit a part of my toe, but it didn't really cost anything. It's a bit rougher compared to the softer and more comfy upper of the PG7 Ultra. I've praised the upper of the Travel PG7, though I didn't quite really like that shoe. This time with the PG7 Ultra, it has the same upper quality on a midsole performance that I actually like. I also like that I don't have to mind the lacing or lockdown too much with the PG7 Ultra, just like the Chaodan Win 3 TR, where it's no fuzz and just plug and play. The Yueying, on the other hand, is one of those shoes that I have to spend a bit more time to secure the lockdown and get it right. Now, for easy days, both uppers are fine. Longer durations or even tempo runs, I would actually give it to the PG7 Ultra. The softer upper is just nicer when you're going faster or when going on longer durations. The Yueying 5 is okay, but just when compared, this one is better. Let's head over to the durability now, and let's just keep it short. The Yueying 5 might look like it's the more fragile with the exposed foam, but the outsole here is actually quite thick. It's rubbery, and I guess it does add some of that mellowness to it instead of a bouncy feel. It actually really grips well even on wet roads. The PG7 Ultra, meanwhile, has a more flat, wide base, a flat coverage outsole design. Kind of looks similar to the OG Travel PG7, but this one performs differently. It was slippery on wet surfaces, especially fresh out of the box, but after a few runs, the road sort of sandpapered it and made it grippier. Still, it never really reached the same level of traction as the Yueying 5. That said, the durability is solid, the rubber is thick on the PG7 Ultra, and I haven't seen any signs of wear yet. Now, let's head over to the ride and feel. I wouldn't call the Yueying 5 bouncy, but compared to the PG7 Ultra, it has a touch more rebound, especially if you land heavily as a midfoot and forefoot striker. Both foams feel similar in softness, but the way they're designed makes them ride differently. The Yueying 5 feels like I'm taller somehow. With its outsole design, the foam squishes around where it's exposed. You have less ground contact initially because of the patterned outsole, which is quite thick. On every step, you can actually feel the outsole more versus feeling the ground. I guess that makes this one feel a bit more controlled rather than a more responsive kind of feel. The PG7 Ultra is flatter, wider outsole with minimal grooves, which makes it smoother and much more stable, and also might be why I don't feel tall in this one. You sit more inside the shoe, giving a more grounded and stable kind of feel. It also ends up feeling more like a cruising shoe. It's smooth like the Blast 5, just less responsive. It has a mellow pop unlike the Noble Blast 5, but nothing really dramatic. For easy days when my legs are beaten up, I actually prefer the PG7 Ultra for that tame and smooth, stable feel versus the Yueying 5, which is on its own a stable shoe. I do kind of am leaning towards the 361 Fierce Max the more I kept using this when I'm running on very tired legs. The Yueying 5 feels like a bit below the level of the Fierce Max and the PG7 Ultra when it comes to stability. But again, this is still a bit more stable of a daily trainer versus other daily trainers, which could be too nimble and too flexible for some people who have stability issues. The thing is, there really isn't that much difference between both in terms of the toe spring effect and the forefoot height. The softness is roughly around the same, but the composition of the foams make them a bit different. Dense, rubbery feel of the Yueying because I guess of the outsole versus the airy, lighter feel of the PG7 Ultra because of its nitro-infused midsole. Despite the 2mm heel difference, the PG7 Ultra is roughly around 40mm in the heel. It doesn't really feel like I'm standing tall. The Yueying 5 makes me feel like I am standing tall. I think the heel of the PG7 Ultra compresses a bit more when I'm standing. Plus, the upper materials and fit adds to the differences of the ride and feel. What's more noticeable is that it's much more smoother when it comes to turnover with the PG7 Ultra. In long runs, the Yueying 5 feels lighter on foot in the beginning. Longer durations though, I kind of feel like the midsole is a bit heavier due to that rubbery, dense kind of feel. The PG7 Ultra does keep my legs going in the late stages, but it also has some hefty feel to it, even though it's really not that heavy of a shoe, especially I have a US size 10. Anyway, to end the video, let's talk about value. Here's where it gets interesting. If I had to buy just one, the Yueying 5 wins on pure value. When it goes on sale, it's ridiculously cheap for what it gives you, but since I already have the PG7 Ultra, I ended up using this one more often. It's just smoother, more stable, and fits the role better as an easy day and cushioned shoe that I can also use on long runs. This also fits the role for some up-tempo, though it does have some heftiness to it, but it is doable. I actually felt fine using this shoe for up-tempo, but if I can only have one and I'm on a budget, the Yueying 5 is actually the clear choice. If you want a budget-friendly daily trainer that can do a bit of everything and you don't really mind a slightly less up-tempo performance but can still do it, the Yueying 5 is a great choice, especially when you can grab it on sale. Anyway, both are reliable, easy-day cruisers. If you eliminate the price factor, surely the PG7 Ultra is the better pick for consistent daily use. I think that's it for my breakdown of the Li-Ning Yueying 5 and the Anta PG7 Ultra. Two budget trainers, both solid, some differences and different personalities, but one is more value picked and the other is smoother and steadier. Thanks for watching my video, and as always, keep running, stay fit, and always be kind.